Such a delight to be here today to share some amazing wisdom with you all who are joining us. And we are sharing this with you today because we know that you're interested in participating in some sacred ritual work potentially. So what we're doing today is welcoming you into this process, and we're also going to be sharing a bit more about this particular kind of ritual work, and I'm going to be introducing this amazing elder here as well. So thank you for being here. I'm Ava Catherine Coder. You probably know me already if you are finding me here. So welcome. Thank you for joining. And I am introducing a very beautiful human, Ianifa Vasa Naimark, who I met about 10 years ago now in Florida. I had the pleasure of meeting her through a very dear friend. And I personally began doing ritual work with her around 2013, 2014. And we've had the opportunity to do several things together, both personally for me and also for groups that I have led. And so I want to introduce you, my community, to this beautiful elder, Ayavasa. She is a seeress, she is a ceremonialist, and she has been working in ceremonial containers for 35 plus years, and she's been deep on the path her whole life. So welcoming you,
Thank you.
Vasa. Thank you for being here.
And welcome to everyone that has the rights to see this beautiful video that we're going to share some important information for you to learn.
Yes, and Vasa is a very deep teacher. She is an incredible artist, and she has created a beautiful sanctuary in northern Florida, Oahu, which I just love visiting so much. I have had a West African teacher named Malidoma Somé. Peace and blessings be upon him. He passed away, but because of my affiliation and learning from Malidoma, I so appreciate what Vasa has been bringing to the United States. And she has guided thousands of people through healing journeys, through healing processes in this very special place that she caretakes and tends to. So Ayavasa, I'd love for you to just share anything else about yourself that I've missed that you feel like is really important.
Okay, well, just to give you a little bit of the background, I did come from a very sexually traumatized childhood, and I did find my way to different matrices that helped me to release the issues in my tissues. I went really deep in the work. I was determined not to live a life as an adult as a victim. It was something I couldn't control as a small child, but as I got older, I knew that it was me that had to do the work. I had to make the changes, and I learned so many wonderful techniques that I can help you get on the other side of it and live totally free, totally in your full power, and be able to really live in a way that is in total synchronicity of what is possible for your journey, your unique journey, and why you were coded to come here. And so I have many different ways. I use the sacred land that is 10 acres on water with a womb house. And so when you enter through the gates, you go through inside a really nurturing place where you can open your heart and you can create change.
Yes, so beautiful. And for those of you that may want to join us for the Sacred Heart retreat that's happening June 2nd through the 4th, you will enter this temple, you will enter the sacred land. And just as Vasa says, as soon as you enter through the gates, it's like you're in a completely different dimension.
Yes.
It's so beautiful, and it's on an estuary, and you have all the flora and fauna, all the sounds. There are shrines set up. There are different labyrinths. There are sacred places to honor your ancestors, and we will be doing that as part of the retreat as well, of course. There are beautiful accommodations for everyone to stay in. It is a pristine environment that she has created, and I love bringing people there. I love going there myself. And yes, Vasa and I are both very aligned in the sense that I think even as small children, we were unwilling to live in that traumatized state. We were unwilling to carry that trauma forward. We were unwilling to have our souls and our spirits blocked by whatever disturbance others around us created for us. And I think maybe I could say this for you, Vasa, since we've spent time together, but correct me if I'm wrong. There's a certain kind of healing that's possible when you dedicate your life to spirit.
Right.
When you dedicate your life to the divine, to the holy, to the sacred, and that can carry you through very deep trauma. And that is part of our intention for the retreat, for us to offer a sacred space to each of you who would like to join, to be able to go through a sacred portal, a sacred container, in order to start mending and tending to some parts of yourself that have been jettisoned off, have been dissociated, have been isolated, buried, compartmentalized, and exiled. And I want to dive in a bit, because we could talk all day.
Yes, yes.
We really could. I want to dive into this process of shedding. And Vasa is a ceremonial space holder for the shedding. I've gone through a number of sheddings with Vasa. I've actually also led sheddings based on my inspiration with Vasa with groups that I've carried. But Vasa, can you speak to this process of shedding?
It's the most powerful thing you can do for yourself. I think everybody in the world should have time, just as nature has its way of shedding in the quarters of a year and changing. We're always going to need to be able to know how to do this work. We can take the big stuff off while you're here. We can help you really open up, and I call it take the manhole cover off and go inside, and we will guide you and lead you through the journey of being able to really take it apart responsibly, safely, with lots of nurturing. It's held, the container is a very nurturing container. We are going to use sacred fire. There's several types of sacred fire that our mothers and mothers and mothers and mothers, who are the creators, we're going to tap into that kind of powerful resource so that you can really get to the root of what is causing any type of disturbance inside your system. And so I know that we're going to talk about vagal nervous system. We're going to have a lot of different ways that we're going to teach you how to heal and rebalance and really open up your creative self and gain more access to your vision of your purpose here. So through fire, water, we're going to have sacred potions that are all plant-based, that are going to go over your body to help heal and cleanse and really take off anything you don't need anymore.
So beautiful. And there's a sense really for this work. So we're going to be working, as Vasa said, with the sacred fire. And, fire is the element can be an element of destruction. It can be an element of creation. And we're going to be harnessing the sacred fire for both of those purposes. But I think for a lot of us, especially, we're coming out of a pandemic, and that was the experience. It wasn't the same experience for everyone. It had different places where it pushed you and pulled you and squashed you and challenged you, right? And fire is the element of challenge, also determination, right? So it took some grit and perseverance to get through the pandemic on all levels: spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, right? And we all have different things that occurred during the pandemic. And so even before the pandemic, and that was a very large stressor that we all went through, we have our histories, we have our childhoods, we have our ancestral lineages that we were born into. Some say we chose to be born into those lineages, but those lineages are long, very long lineages, especially our matrilineal lineage. Mine goes back 40,000 years. So we have a lot of history there, right?
Yes.
So what this container can do, what this sacred container can do, is it can help you really get in and access whatever needs to be cleared and released from your lineage, from your personal history, whether that's your way past personal history, childhood, or more present day history. But all of that can be included. And for anyone that's birthed a child into this world, both Vasa and I have done that. She's done it more than I have. But you understand deeply the power of birthing also, birthing anew, but also the power of vocalization. And so this container that you're going to go into, when you go into the fire ritual work, you'll go one-on-one with Vasa with that. And she's there. I've done this work with her personally. She is there with you. She's like, get in there. You know, she's midwifing. She is your midwife for that depth of whatever needs to be cleared, whatever needs to be released. And she pushes you, go a little bit deeper, get in there a little bit further. And I knew that from the birth portal. It's like, oh, that's coming from down here, you know, or that's coming from up here, or, you know, you can kind of feel that yourself going deeper and deeper. And through vocalization, you're going to have two swords that you work with. And you're going to get to say anything that you want to say at whatever volume you want to say it at. And you are going to be encouraged, deeply invited and encouraged to really go there. Okay. So we don't have, this is the reason we're doing this, is because we don't have those containers in our regular lives. You can't just go down the street and scream. People think that you're weird. Someone will call the police, right? Something bad would happen to you probably. Okay. So we need spaces. And just not any old space will do. We need a sacred space to hold the power of what comes through. This needs to be held. You can go in your car and scream, and that might do something for you. And look, we've probably all done that, right? But this is different. This is a ceremonial space. You are going to be held by your ancestors. You're going to be held by the community in the ritual space, and you're going to be held by both Vasa and I and the land.
It's 10 acres, primal, raw land.
Raw.
Yeah.
And all of the energy matrices that Vasa has been tending, all of the shrines, they are there to support you in rebirthing yourself through this container of letting yourself really go there. And there is no holds barred, no holds barred.
Totally.
Total freedom. Exactly.
And it's full body. I mean, it's like you're barefoot, you're on the earth, you're like in your primal self.
Yes.
And it just goes all the way up and out. And we know how to guide you, support you.
Yes.
To really take the layers out. And cut it off once and for all. Really end it.
End it. Yes. Yeah. I like to say I have sort of like this inner Japanese like master who's like, finish it. Yeah. Right? Yeah. We want you to encourage, finish it.
Right.
Right. For those of us who are abuse survivors, both Vasa and I are childhood abuse survivors. We never got to say no. Okay, so
whatever you want.
You can say it. Everything that you didn't get to say, everything that your body didn't get to do, everything that your nervous system didn't get to complete, we are inviting you to complete it. And that will be our first major full day together in the retreat. And the second day, everything after the fire ceremony is cleansing, healing, moving into the sacred waters, the gentle waters that will then be purifying, helping to encourage this very soft, beautiful rebirth, because you will be rebirthing yourself.
And we will do things to empower you And make sure before you leave, you're sealed and protected, because I know once we open you, it's very important to complete and close and bring you into a place where you feel safe again, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is what is so important in doing sacred ceremonial work, is that you are working with elders. You are working with those who understand how these energies work, understand how to open the space,
Right.
how to close the space.
Right. It's very important.
Those who are very responsible, because when you leave, you need to be able to leave with a whole sense of yourself. And there may be this rebirthing that's happening. There's going to be a new growth, right? So
Right.
when fires move through the forest, for instance, and living in Colorado, this is an every year occurrence for us. It makes the way for this new, makes the space for the new growth. Okay.
Yeah.
So there will be this new growth happening. And I'm about almost a year out of my sacred fire ceremony that I was able to do last year with Vasa, very sacred. And it's been amazing to watch the new growth, right? To watch the boundaries of like, oh no, that's not going to be acceptable, right? But not from a place of necessarily anger. It's just that inner no is there. Like, no, that blind spot that used to be present is not there anymore. So, especially for abuse survivors, what we have are blind spots. We have areas where we have dissociated, and therefore, when a malignant energy comes towards us, we often don't see it.
Right.
And then there it is, right in our field, and we're dealing with some recapitulation, some reenactment of the early trauma. Okay. This is what we want to heal.
Yeah. We're going to take that numbness away.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people do have to shut off and shut down when we open up. Oh my God. She wants to talk.
She has the sweetest, the sweetest.
She's my assistant today.
Look at this. Yes. Look at this. So sweet.
She got healed.
Yes.
She's in every ceremony, by the way. You'll be meeting her when you come. So it to me, like, once you get to free all of that, you really uncover yourself on a whole different level, and you get way more in touch with your own senses, your own intuition. You get to make better decisions. I mean, I think that's one of the important factors of the outcome of it, is you're going to choose so many better ways to live your life, right?
People, places, events, moments, especially child rearing, for those of you that are parents, if you have a lot of unresolved trauma in your nervous system and in your body, your child will trigger that for you. And the truth is, you don't really want to be yelling at your child for something that's just old wounding in your system. So it's incumbent upon us as humans to really do the healing work that we need to do so that we can be with the others in our lives. No, we don't want to pass it on. We don't want to embed our little ones with this anger and rage that we haven't processed. We don't want it showing up in our friendships, our partnerships, our relationships, our business relationships. No, right? And in modern life, they would say you can take a pill for it or try to do some anger management classes, but that is not enough. Because some of this wounding that has happened to us at the soul level. It has injured us at a soul level. And we have to go in from a deep spiritual container in order to heal at that soul level.
Exactly. Your energetic signature will completely be different.
Yes.
The way you enter this womb space, you'll come in one way, and in just that small amount of time, it's like 10 years of working hard in a therapy session. You're going to come out and you're going to be your energy field will be very different. I know some people, even their dogs, don't quite recognize them. It's like, what happened? Yeah.
Well, something's different. Yeah.
Right. But your whole energy will be free, light, full of energy. I mean, for those who are always tired or have little chronic things going on and this and that, it's going to go. It's going to be
Mhm.
freed out of your body because a lot of stuff gets stuck in there. And this is going to go in there to the cellular level and make change.
Exactly. This isn't just a change of mind.
No,
It's a change of heart. It's a change of body. It's a change of soul.
yeah. You
It's
recode. You recode.
very, very different. So we so appreciate that you are watching this right now. And if you're watching this, you either are having a big yes, like, oh my God, I really need to do this.
Right?
Yes, like that's going to be in your system. Or you also might be oh my God, I think I need this, but I'm scared to do this. Oh my God, what's going to come out, right? You're welcome. You're welcome, whether you're a big 110% yes. And you're also very welcome if you have an intuition that, yeah, I've got some stuff. I don't really even know what it is, but I know that it needs to be tended to, and I'm a little frightened. Yes, you are very, very welcome. Yes, because if you are having this intuition, it's because there's something there for you to heal, right? So please listen to your intuition, listen to your hearts, listen to the calling, because this is a calling. We are calling you. This is an invitation. So we want you to feel in your heart, are you being called? Is this a yes? Even if it's a tentative yes. We have only 12 places. This is an intimate encounter. This isn't a big thing. This is intimate, small, with a lot of personal attention. You're going to be very well cared for. There are going to be gourmet vegan meals, beautiful accommodations. You're going to get to do a lot of personal work and a lot of deepening. So, especially after the pandemic, if this is something that calls to you, please sign up. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to connect with you further. We're going to have a preparatory meeting before we all go into the container. We're going to have an integration after everyone returns to their lives. So you're going to be held in an arc all the way through this process, because that is what it takes. And that is what is important. And both Vasa and I are very clear on holding a strong, safe, nurturing container.
We have a lot of experience. Okay. I've been doing this for over 35 years. I know that Catherine as well had many decades of working. So we have the personal experience and we have the work experience. People come from all over the world to our retreat, and we welcome you to experience it here.
Yes. So thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you for taking the time, not just to be with us, but to be with yourself, because that is what is most important, is that we do this healing individually and we do this healing as a collective. So thank you. And thank you so much, Vasa, for joining today.
My honor. My honor.
Yes. Wonderful.